Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing. Well, as you can see here, the box is already open. We'll go over why that is here in just a moment. Of an oil cooler from Maxpeedingrod. We just recently did one on my white E46 race car, and today we'll be doing one on my wife's race car. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Like if you enjoy this type of content. We are doing a giveaway. We still have one more E46 M3 steering wheel to give away. All you have to do to be part of those giveaways, entered in automatically, is be following us on Instagram. Tenza_motorsports is where we pull the winners from, just the list of followers. So make sure you're following us on there. This was going to be an unboxing, but we had a bit of an incident with my oil cooler. My oil cooler, if you all remember, was stainless steel braided on the outside. Let me grab a piece of it here real quick. So without making too much of a mess here, here is the stainless steel line. And this came with my kit, and I thought, well, you know, we're running with high pressure oil, it's gonna get hot, maybe you have to use the stainless steel lines. Well, it turns out you don't have to use them, and if you don't have to, then don't. And this isn't a diss on Maxpeedingrod. There's lots of companies that run stainless steel lines like that, and honestly, it's just a facade to make it look cooler. It does not add any more structural rigidity to the lines themselves. I thought they did because, again, you know, you're running oil, you don't want the lines to have any issues, and then we kept kind of having issues with it leaking here and there. And basically what ends up happening is when you cut these, let me pull out another piece here. So this is a nylon one. When you cut the ends of it, you wrap it up in tape, you can cut it, and then the tape keeps it from fraying out. The stainless steel ones are so hard to cut that you end up making it frayed out really bad, and then we cut it back. So when we did go put these ends on it, it wasn't together like it should have been. And then I get my wife's kit, and she's got the nylon lines, which again is really just a looks different. Just that's all it is looks. And I was a little bit upset because I had spent so much time getting stainless steel lines on that when I got these ones, I was like, crap, these take like 2 minutes to cut and reattach one of these. And I spent like all day installing my oil cooler. Other than that, the oil cooler itself, all the connections have been really good. So I don't want the whole video to be talking about how I've had issues, but I do want to talk about something real quick. If you do have issues with Maxpeedingrod, they will take care of you. They've been really good about communicating with me if I've got any questions, things like that. And you can go to their website. I'll have everything linked in the description below. Their return policy is fantastic. So if you have any issues with anything, they're just really good about it. The other thing that I want to talk about real quick for Maxpeedingrod is they actually do have an app. I've used it a little bit. It's pretty fun, and it's nice to have that community. So if you're interested in looking into that, I'll have the link to the app down in the description below. So keep an eye out for me on the app, and then we'll see you there. So there's lots of pros. Again, the biggest con of mine was that I was using the stainless steel lines. They leave slivers in your fingers. They get hung up on everything. They're just, if you don't have to use them, don't. The 19-row oil cooler is obviously the larger cooler. If you want to buy that one, they do sell AN10 lines like this, lines and connectors. Separate. So just spend a little bit of extra money and just go with the nylon. Totally worth it. I've gotten pretty much everything I've purchased from Maxpeedingrod, all added up, is probably less than one of these through like Jegs or Summit or something like that. And they're essentially the same quality and maybe even coming from the same place. So I'm not going to get into where everybody's getting their manufacturing done, but let's take a look here real quick at the oil cooler. This is slightly smaller. It is a 13-row. It is black. This right here is going to go right up front. I'll show where that goes. I actually do want to run the lines of this today because in the previous video, we actually didn't show, we showed where they went, but we didn't actually show like running them and mounting it. So I want to do all that today as well. This does come with a sandwich adapter. This is kind of like a generic oil cooler adapter. These E46s, they don't need this plate. We actually have a Bevan C oil cooler cap, and that will be in the next video. So we've got this one, and then the next one, we'll be doing another one of those. So this is actually gonna be a two-parter. If you use my discount code here, you can actually get a discount on your next Maxpeedingrod order. So let's get all this pulled apart, and I will show you the brackets. I made some custom brackets, and show how easy that is to install, and we'll go from there. All right, I just want to show these brackets real quick. I made these for free, and all I did was I actually had some leftover pieces of metal from a TV mount. So this is for like a smaller TV mount, and all I did was bend it. I trimmed both ends, drilled an extra hole, and now the oil cooler can sit like this. And that's how it'll go onto the car. And then when we add, if we need to add like a oil cooler for the turbo, because eventually we'd like to run a turbo in this car, we can either slide this one back and put the oil cooler for the turbo in front of it, or we can offset them, something like that. So anyways, those are the brackets. Got a little bit of hardware here. So we're gonna go put this on the car, and then I'm gonna show where we're gonna be routing the hoses. This car is awesome because there's a couple holes up front here, and it's almost like it was designed to have an oil cooler. So come right here. It might be a little bit hard to see on camera, but there's a hole here on the top. There's another one right here. And if you put these right here, it is the exact width within the margin of error as an oil cooler. And right there, boom. So that's what we'll be doing. I did hang this pretty low because I want to make sure that I've got room for the cooler lines to come up and over. And we are going to be running them very similar to my race car. One thing that we are going to be doing is this plastic piece that's underneath here. We're going to be removing that. So there's a couple screws right here, and we're just going to be gutting that out the rest of the way, and the oil cooler lines will actually run back up behind here. I am trying to figure out where exactly they're going to run. Mine run up here to the right-hand side, the driver's side, if you're facing the car right-hand side facing. Let's get this mounted up first and just kind of see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. All right, so we've got it mounted. You can see the brackets here. Those, like I said, these holes right here are like absolutely perfect. So if you're able to use those, go ahead and use them, and then that will give us plenty of room to have the oil cooler lines come up and back. We'll head them kind of diagonally back. Yeah, so let's get those installed. We'll just be removing these and then grabbing the AN fittings. All right, so I'm gonna end the video here. We do have the oil cooler in. The only thing I haven't done yet is tighten up these mounting bracket bolts. I do have one hose going this way and then this one looping back, mostly because I just didn't have enough room. If I point it straight back this direction, if you swing this over, it hits. So I'm glad that I actually have this as low as I did. I basically just wanted to make sure that as the air passes through, it doesn't get interrupted by the bumper at all. And man, it is just, and you can see how tall this sits. So I'm really hoping that this all works out. I haven't tried shutting the hood yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't fit. Over here, this does look a little bit janky, but all I did was where this drops down and gets right over top of the radiator, I did need to free up a little bit of space. So it is basically flat through here still. I was able to open up enough space for these to come through, and then I'll come through and smooth this back out, make it look nice. Again, if you're looking into some Maxpeedingrod parts, I'll have my discount code right here. Use that to get a discount off your next order, and I'll have everything that we used tonight, including the other oil cooler, the 13 row that is on my white race car. I'll make sure to have that all linked in the description below. Any comments or questions down in the comment section below. I really appreciate everybody so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
vediamo.